August was a weak month for markets in general, with the world index down and the S&P 500, the main US index, down 4%. Australia did much better, with the main index up just a bit more than 1%. The IML funds were positive, but lagged that index up 0.4%. And the reason for Australia's outperformance is chiefly resources. The ASX Resources Index was up 6%, which is an incredible month. So we had very high, strong commodity markets buoying the Australian market, but a lot of our companies, most of which are not resource companies, did very well. We had a lot of good results, and our meetings with management were very encouraging, with managements well aware of how best to deal with the difficult times as we're dealing with high inflation and a lot of cost pressures and a somewhat less confident and weaker consumer. Hurting our performance were the resource companies, which were very strong, and Orica, because they did a capital raising or placement to partly fund an acquisition and also to raise working capital for the very high prices in their supply chain of ammonia. On the plus side, standing out for us amongst the many good results were Brambles, up a lot on the day as they're getting their prices through, Telstra and Medibank Private, which has done very well in the short time since we've owned it. As we look forward, we're looking at what we believe to be quite a tough environment. We're dealing with the aftermath of what could be called bureaucratic and political overreaction to COVID. We had lockdowns, we had zero interest rates, we had a lot of government spending. It's resulted in supply chain problems through the lockdowns. A lot of the supply flows around the world aren't working that well. You've seen a big accumulation in debt, both at the household and the government level. You've seen asset bubbles, and you've seen inflation. And in such an environment, there has to be some sort of payback. As we bring inflation under control, as consumer sentiment's falling a bit with the higher interest rates, and we're seeing confidence down. In such an environment, we think that companies that have some pricing power and a strong franchise are more likely to perform well. And those are the companies that we continue to own and focus on.